Speaking of bad projection onto these characters, how terrible was the spider scene?
Oh gosh. Yeah.
You can so clearly tell that there's a pane of glass above Bond as the spiders are crawling about.
And the other spider scene was interesting as well because that was pretty bad as well. Was like when the
Oh, the cage!
yeah, we see the spider cage and the spider gets picked up in the cage. But that scene again, like how there's moments that have so much promise in this movie in that sense because like that scene opened on such a beautiful shot of like, you know, like the skylight in the ceiling basically.
It felt like Blade Runner 2049, like Jared Leto's little room. Like
it looked great, and so he comes in and whatnot, and then it just pans over to that fucking spider cage, and I was like, oh my God. And he picks it up and he's terrified, and the actor's doing a really good job, but you look at this spider and it's like clearly just like not moving or doing anything.
And he's just waiting for like the director to kind of like poke at it just to get it to move or something. Like
totally.
Like Terrence Young's out the side.
Or it's like on a string and they just like wiggle it a bit. Like they just like pull on the string and it just kind of jostles a bit in the cage.
It's just jolting about. But I love when it crawls on James Bond. There's a shot where you see the lump of the spider under the blanket as it moves up.
Yeah.
And it's the most obvious not thing that's a spider. It's clearly just something on a stick. Oh,
that was incredible.
It's so good.
I forgot about that lump shot of like the
my God,
moving up.
And then watching Sean Connery beat up the spider with his shoe.
Yeah.
Like
totally.
off camera.
He goes ape. It like crawls past him and he's like, right. And he just like gets up and he just like starts losing his, like I've seen people do this in real life as well. It was pretty spot on in terms of like
he's been through this before.
We've all been there. We've all had a big spider at some point.
We're both Australian. We've been there, mate. See, that's why I want to see this scene, but with George Lazenby's Bond, because him being Australian, he just wouldn't care.
Yeah, he'd like welcome it. He'd like welcome it in. He'd be like, hello, mate. How you going?
G'day, love. Oh, you remind me of my last missus. Just so.
Go on. I've got an extra pillow. Here, you sleep on that. Let's just hang out.
Oh my God. He's got like the spider on a fucking leash. Like
here in Australia, like it's true, we do get a lot of spiders.
I'm looking at one right now.
Hey. Yeah, so we get a lot of spiders, and there's this spider called the huntsman, and I'd suggest looking it up. And these things are fucking everywhere. Like they're honestly everywhere, especially like in summer, when it starts storming or whatever. These things are like, fuck, get inside, and they come to your house or whatever, and they like to hang out.
Yeah.
But no one likes these things for whatever reason. And they're not poisonous. They're fine. They're harmless.
They actually are. Despite how they look terrible, but they're fine.
They're really big, they're really hairy, and they're really ugly. And people are like, oh God, get it, kill it now. Funnily enough too, like they eat cockroaches and stuff. Like they eat the pets.
But they're good.
They're good to have around. But we kill them anyway because they're just not.
Because they're scary.
They're just not aesthetically pleasing.
Is Aragog a giant huntsman? I'm trying to remember like he looks a little bit like one.
He's got the design of a huntsman, yeah.
Yeah. Just like as the spider crawls up James Bond. Goodbye, friend of Hagrid. And he gets fucking swarmed. Oh.
I was not the monster in the chamber.
I forgot how shitty Aragog's dialogue was in that movie.
I need to watch it again. I used to love that scene as a kid. I'd watch that scene again. There's so much going on. Especially because, like, God, Nathan's lost it.
And Ron's just looking around, just sweating.
What's amazing about that scene too is that, like, I think what's so bad about that spider in particular is like because it was scary as a kid. Like you're like, holy fuck, that's it. And because the spider, what's weird is that Rowling makes that spider talk, right? So the spider can talk.
We don't see its mouth, but it's talking.
That's right. How do you convincingly make a spider talk? You know what I mean?
Oh.
So like the film just goes, all right, we'll just have like the close-ups on an Aragog will just be of like the 8 eyes. Like we'll just go straight to the 8 eyes. But the thing is, like, that's like an animatronic. It's clearly like an animatronic.
Yeah, it's so. That's why he's not moving.
Exactly.
Yeah.
These dead looking, like no movement, like 8 eyes, and he just like
in the video games that fucker leaps about when you're battling him. But like,
oh my gosh, that boss fight! I remember playing that on the PS2. Like Chamber of Secrets, great game. Fly around Hogwarts, it's a good time. So on the PS2, that boss fight, you start off on his web, right? So you have to like, he's like in his cave or whatever, and like he's above the cave, sorry, and it's like this great expanse thing, and you have to like set flames to like the edges of the web where it's like attaching to like the top of the cave.
Yeah, and he's like shooting poison at you as he's doing it, like.
Yeah, dude, and then he falls in, and I remember playing this as a kid, and I was like, oh cool, I finished it, and then like I fell in with him, and I was like, oh no, and you have this boss fight where you're fucking about in this cave, and he just like he just crawls at you, dude. It's like it's so unsettling.
It's
he
so
just like
terrifying.
fucking goes at you.
Yeah, but in the movie they couldn't pull that off.
Totally. But like the smaller spiders are good in the movie. Like I remember like when Ron the whole time's like going, Harry, and they look up, and then like they're all like coming down, and that's when Harry's like, Daniel Radcliffe, great actor, he's like, well, thank you. We'll be going now.
We'll just go.
Go. I think
He's like, I think not.
Oh, that's so. And like, I forgot how awkward Daniel Radcliffe is in that scene. And like, the car fucking rocks up, and Daniel like was awkwardly trying to get in the car, like, and the face Ron makes when the spiders got him. Like,
yeah, I know.
And he's choking him.
That thing's pincers are like wrapped around like Ron's neck. Like that thing could just easily bite his head off. He's like, and the sound it makes. And what's the spell he does? He's like,
it's like Richter Semper or something like that.
Yeah, that's it. Richter Semper.
And he just pushes him back. And it's funny because like Ron never mentions that again. Like if that happened to a 12-year-old child, which is his age in the movie, you would be traumatized for years. Like
I couldn't imagine anything worse than like a giant spider's pincers just wrapped around my neck. Maybe it was trying to make love to him. I don't know. Like maybe it wasn't trying to kill him. Like,
the scene just turns very like Harry's like, ooh. Do you want me to get out of the car? Give it just to you? Like, tosses Ron's the keys.
I bet you somewhere that porno exists.
That fanfiction definitely exists. Jesus.
The other thing I was going to say about the Harry Potter scene, I was going to say about spiders in movies. I think the most convincing giant spider that's ever been in a movie is Shelob from Return of the King.
Oh yeah, she's great.
That's disgusting. Like that is so disgusting that
because
spider.
also her saliva is very drippy. Like it's really wet and slippery that like they get wrapped up in.
It's like a funnel web spider. It's legitimately like the way it moves and shit through those caves. You're like, oh god, like god no.
Yeah, she's quite quick as well, and I love it as well because in that scene you just got like Gollum going like, just like cheering her on, and Hisoka and Mocap's like, yeah, kill him.
What I can't imagine though is that like why in the Hobbit? So like the Hobbit, I think it's the Desolation of Smaug, the second one.
Yeah,
they have like the spider segment with like all of Shelob's children that they run into.
That's right, they're like jumping about, yeah.
So they're in there, and then like those spiders are just like so much worse than Shelob, and like why? How did they fuck it up?
And considering this is a prequel, we never know what happens to them.
Yeah, they just kind of like rock up and they just leave. And the thing was as well, I'm pretty sure in the books, like because Bilbo puts the ring on, and then he can understand what the spiders are saying as well. Like they're all like talking to each other.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's tangent over spiders.
Jesus, I'm glad we had a chat then.